Hey everyone, it's Joel and Sebastian back again with another EV Geek podcast review. Today we have the 2024 Chevy Blazer LT all-wheel drive. Did I say it all correct?
The Blazer EV.
EV
LT all-wheel drive.
All-wheel drive. Very got it.
Not to be confused with the Blazer gas.
Yes. So quick specs. This is called what's the color again?
I believe it's Galaxy. Yes, Galaxy Gray Metallic.
So really cool color because on one side where the sun doesn't hit it, it looks purple. Some aspects it looks gray, other aspects it looks blue. So really cool color. I'm glad that, once again, another shout out to Everett Chevrolet for letting us borrow this lovely EV for the day. Great team over there. Got us this awesome color. So yes, 85 kilowatt hour battery pack, 150 kilowatt peak charge. First impression of this car, Sebastian?
Yeah, so just off a quick drive over here, it rides pretty smooth. It's quiet inside. It's plenty of space. The interior space is great.
Yes, it is.
Good materials from just like the very quick first impression. I really like the seats. And yeah, I mean, it's got GM's really good Android automotive system in it. It's got some driver's assistant stuff. It just is a pretty decent package.
Got you. And max range is?
It is EPA rated at 279 miles.
So 279 miles of range. So yes. So it is a cold day outside. So we're going to wrap this up. We're going to do a quick little outside tour, and then we'll get inside and show you the tech and the driving range. So stick with us. We'll be back in a sec. All right, everyone, we are back with our Chevy Blazer EV, courtesy of Everett Chevrolet here in Benton, Arkansas. So, all right, Sebastian, give us a quick tour. Tell us what we're working with today.
Yeah, so as you can previously mention, this is a 2024 Blazer EV LT trim level, and this is the all-wheel drive model. So the LT trim levels, you get this here, it's body color. On the RSs, it's a black panel. The RS just has kind of a more sporty appearance. The
I like
LT
the color
is more of a
matching
daily.
actually better.
Yeah, I tend to agree with you. This Galaxy gray color is really cool. You know, it's gray, and then the light hits it, and it's purple, and then also blue. It's got a lot of color shift to it. It's a really pretty color.
It is.
I actually kind of really like these wheels. These are the base wheels on this car, and they are even. I think they're not even that big. They are. Where's the size? I lost the size. 19-inch wheels, but they've got these arrow inserts on them. And they're like, I actually think they look
Help
pretty
with efficiency
decent.
with the smaller wheels as well. Yep.
Let's go ahead and talk about one of the silliest things on the Blazer while we're here. This is your charge port.
Yeah, the over-engineered charge port.
Gigantic door, and you hit a button here, and it very slowly
opens up.
Now there's some ice on it. That's what you heard the crackling sound of. It doesn't usually make that.
It is 25 degrees outside right now, folks.
And then you've got your little flap. CCS port, like you mentioned, 85 kilowatt hour battery pack. GM claims 150 kilowatt peak charge rate. This vehicle can charge on Tesla superchargers, which is nice. No plug-in charge on superchargers. You do have to use the Tesla app or the My Chevrolet app to activate the chargers. If you use Tesla app, you can use stuff like your Tesla membership or whatnot. Coming around, so this is really nice. You actually can do the keyless remote or keyless entry on all four doors.
That's awesome, yes.
Which is awesome. Because so many cars have started actually moving away from that.
Especially if you have kids who want to run the car and get there 5 minutes before you do, yes.
Yeah. Coming around the rear, pretty simple rear. I like the lights.
Yes.
This is simple kind of T-shaped lighting on all sides. It's all LED, of course. The teeniest, tiniest rear window wiper. You come here. There you go. Power tailgate, of course. And you have a really good sized trunk.
You do.
And you have some really good underfloor storage as well. This is where you have an EVSE, gigantic tow hooks, tire mobility kit, some bags for your EVSE, all that. But this is a
very organized.
It's good size. You even have some cutouts and straps. Yeah, no power outlets or anything back here, but that's fine. Also, the seats go down, but they're manual. Really, not much else on the exterior. You want to hop in the back seat real quick?
Sure.
So hopping back here, I drove it over here. I'm 6 foot tall.
I'm gonna hand it to you so you can show the inside.
Easy as far as knee room goes.
Plenty of room.
Let me actually zoom this back out some. Yep. There you go. Knee room, so much. And back here, this is the LT, and it's a pretty lower end model of it. So you don't have a whole bunch back here, but you do have USB-C ports, 2 air vents, which is nice. No heated seats or anything, and I do love that this one actually has the option for the full glass roof. which is really
It does
nice.
have a retractable.
And it does have a sunshade, yeah. But really not a whole lot else to talk about back here. You do also get cup holders, which is nice. Mat pockets on both seats. Nothing else really going on.
Yep.
Hand that back to
Kind
Joel.
of look here on the side here too. So you got a little carbon, looks like a little carbon fiber wrap, a carbon fiber outlook here with that. So yeah, it's I really like this color too. Like you said, it's a really cool color. All right, so it is cold outside. We're gonna pop in and do a quick tour of the inside, tech review, and then get on the road to see what this drives like. See y'all here in a sec. All right, we are inside, nice and toasty warm, of our 2024 Chevy Blazer EV. This is the LT, all-wheel drive. All right, Sebastian, give us a quick tour of what we're working with inside here.
Yeah, so general interior layout. If you've seen one GM EV, you've seen a lot of most of them.
This
as
looks
far as
similar to
layout
the
goes.
Equinox that we reviewed as well.
You do have the bigger display in this one, which I like, and it's just kind of goes all the way to the edge. You have kind of a weird shape to it. All that's nice. I was a little surprised. This is only a single zone climate control.
Yes.
I don't know if the higher trim levels have a dual zone, if they're all single zone. It was interesting to me. I personally don't care too much about that. I usually keep the car set at like 70 degrees, and that's good enough for pretty much everybody.
And when you're in the front seat, do you really notice that much difference? I mean,
Yeah. So that's not a big deal to me, but I was kind of surprised to see it. These seats are pretty dang comfortable.
they are.
And I actually like on them, you have this white accenting as well, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, not
Accent.
in the back, just in the front. So
Just
yeah.
in the back, but yeah, you have this white accent, but you have a little cloth insert and then leather again. It's pretty good. I'm actually going to bump this down a little bit because it's cranking the
the
fan
heat is
on us.
cranked and we can hear it. So yes,
Looking around in here, these air vents are neat.
I love those air vents. For some reason, I do not know why I like them so much, but they're too cool looking.
So they did this on the gas Blazer too, but these
Yeah.
are actually kind of to mimic the newer Camaros.
Oh, okay.
They use the same kind of round vents, and you just grab them and you just point them wherever you want.
Pretty cool.
You have a decent amount of little storage pockets here too. You have this kind of cubby here with 2 USB-C ports. You have a deep cubby here,
If I can show you way back there, yes.
way back here.
Not a charging pad.
Not a charging pad. 2 cup holders. Your wireless charging pad is here,
Yep.
and then you can open this up,
Then with more
spring loaded,
Yes.
and a pretty big pocket here with another USB-C port
And a 12 volt.
and a 12 volt.
Yep.
Nice to see.
Still see a lot of the cars still keep the 12 volts, which is interesting. Yep.
Yep. Really, not a whole lot else. This being the base kind of more base LT, you don't have Super Cruise or anything like that. This does have adaptive cruise and all that. We'll try it out when we get on the road later. When you look over here at your infotainment system, like I previously mentioned, this is the General Motors Android Automotive system that you're finding in all of their new EVs, so Equinox, Silverado, Sierra, Hummer,
Cadillac.
all of it. And they all work really, really similar. And so kind of this is key up for us. And we'll kind of just poke through the menus as we go. So you can click here on vehicle status, and it takes it a second to load the first time. And you have this little fly around you can do, and you can click on little things. So tire pressure, you get energy efficiency, energy use. You fly around, and then you can have all your trips and stuff here as well. And so then you have your trip, for example, and you can actually click in on these and hit add to driver display. And I don't know if we can show it, but it'll come up right there on the left side of your screen. And so there's a couple things when you're in here using the infotainment system, you'll see that add to driver display option. So like, for example, I can do that. And so then I could send this screen over to there as well.
That's cool. You can personalize that.
And so let me come back home. You have your drive modes. So this is really just standard stuff. You have a normal mode, sport mode, snow, ice, and my mode. So my mode, you can hit custom, and you can kind of feel like steering feel, normal or sport, brake feel.
You customize to what you're comfortable with.
Yeah, acceleration feel, motor sound. So you can see I actually put it all in sport mode because I liked the way it felt, but I do not like the fake noises.
We do
so
not.
then I can turn that off.
Yeah.
And so then this just kind of tells you what my mode is. So anyway, I like seeing that. I believe the RS, or maybe it's not the RS and it's the SS that hasn't been started shipping yet, is where you get the wide open watts mode.
Okay.
Wow.
The wow mode.
The wow mode, which is kind of like the same as your WTF and the Hummers and whatnot.
Looks like a heads-up display, but I know this doesn't have.
No, so that is not the heads-up display. That is your forward collision warning. So
gotcha,
it flashes a red light on the windshield to let you know that it thinks you're going to hit someone. This, again, Android Automotive, you have your Google Assistant, so you can ask the car to do stuff for you. So you can be like, hey, Google, set the climate to 70 degrees.
Got it.
There you go.
Shifting the auto
Set to
climate
70.
control to 70 degrees.
And now we're turning it back down so it doesn't blow us away.
which is nice.
And it's very snappy.
And it's pretty
we
snappy.
noticed that with the Cadillac, with the Lyric and other cars, it's very snappy.
Yeah. You have Play Store, so you can put your own apps on it. So you sign in your Google account, and you can add Spotify, Waze, whatever you want, whatever you need. We're going to the charging menu. This is all very similar to like the other Ultium cars, where you can come in here, you can do charge now. You set your charge limit down to, I believe, 50% is the lowest they'll let you set to. They recommend 80% for daily use. This is based on a guessometer, so it's taken into account temperature and driving history and whatever. You can come in here as well. If you're signed into your account, so you can see a bunch of chargers near you. You can set up charging schedules. You can come in here and you can on-demand precondition, which we love to see.
Every car should have that.
You have to go into a couple menus for it, but you can at least do it. You can also do route planning, and it will precondition as part of route planning. But you can do this. You hit that. It'll tell you cool, and then it'll let you know when it's actually done preconditioning, but you can plug in anytime. And we won't point it out, but you can actually see over here that it will start cranking up the number of kilowatts being used.
That was at 1
to run the heater.
4, 5, 6. So yeah, it goes up.
And so that's just it burning energy to heat the battery, which is cool. Love to see it. We'll come back out of here. I'm actually going to leave that fast charging because we might end up going somewhere and doing something with that. We'll see. We're going to get back out of here, go back home. Cameras. So this vehicle does have 360-degree cameras. So you get a top down, you get a front view, overhead, and side, and then you can go rear, standard, overhead, side, and a hitch view. Which this one does not have a hitch on it, but if you put it on it, it would work. All that's good, all that's nice. I kind of was a little surprised. I feel like the cameras are a little bit lower quality than I was expecting them to be, but they're not bad. They're perfectly usable. I do kind of still wonder why on these Ultium vehicles, it takes up so little of the screen. You know, they have all this room. They could make them bigger, but they push them all the way over to the side. That's my only kind of gripe with those. You do have ALEXA. I'm spelling it out because when people watch this in their houses, it sets off their devices.
It has that Amazon feature.
Yep. You have your climate menu, which, you know, I do appreciate GM gives you the good mix of touch controls and hard buttons. So like your temperature is a hard button, your fan speed's a hard button, and then you have hard buttons for AC, heat, blah, blah, blah. You know, and then if you need more than that, you just get into the screen.
Yes.
So I appreciate that kind of mix, especially because if you're someone like me and you're just leaving it on full auto all the time, you're not.
Or my wife who doesn't want to go deep into the screens when she's checking her air, she can just do it simply from there.
Yeah. So I do appreciate that. You also have some buttons here for doing stuff in the rear as well, so you can turn off the fan speed in the rear, which is nice, and then you got your sync. See here. Go back home. You have Wi-Fi hotspot in here, of course. You have your audio. No Android Auto or Apple CarPlay because GM has decided they're getting rid of that on most of their new EVs, but not all of them. Because Lyric had it, Hummer has it, but Blazer,
Equinox,
and Silverado non-work truck don't have it, but the Silverado work truck does. Anyway, little weirdness. You also have your maps. So this is one of the shining stars of the Android Automotive system now. Since we are in guest mode, it actually makes me go through and do this every time.
You have to agree to the privacy settings.
Yep.
Share EV data, all that stuff.
But then once you're in here, it actually works really well.
I like on this feature where the map takes up the whole screen.
Yep. So you can go to Austin, Texas. There we go, 7 hours. Now we are at 43%, so it's going to have us do probably more charging stops than we need to. It's actually 6 this time, and not 7. And most of these seem like pretty reasonable stops. I don't know what this 51-minute stop is, though, so you can hit route details, though.
Remember we had that same issue with the Silverado when the stopped there for a long period of time.
Yeah, so maybe it's just trying to do a really deep charge, but otherwise these look fairly reasonable. 30 minutes,
26,
33, 36, 23, 10.
It did route the Tesla on there.
So I believe that's a Magic Dock station.
Oh, it is. Okay.
Yeah, so we haven't been able to get one of these GM cars to actually route to a NACS station, even though they can support Tesla superchargers. This one is a Magic Dock station. I believe that's the reason it's grabbing it, because you can see it says CCS here. Yep. And when I was looking in here earlier,
it may be a software update.
I believe it'll be a software update, because if I hit chargers here and I hit filter, the compatible plugs listed are only J1772 and CCS. Yeah, so it does not give me a NACS option. Yep. So hopefully they update that in the software soon, so then you can route plan with those as well. But luckily, even if you can't route plan with them, you can still go in and manually precondition the battery. You're not going to be stuck having a crappy charge session because you couldn't navigate to the charger. Yep. Would be better if you could just navigate to the charger, but hopefully that comes in a software update. Yep. This should support over-the-air updates as far as I'm aware, which, you know, is good stuff. You can come in here, controls, and you get a lot of little random options. So you have your dome lights, power windows, this gets your camera, and then you can hit see more controls, and you get more stuff. I'm going to go into drive and park. This is where you can set up your one pedal driving. You can also see if there's a button here for it as well. So we actually have it set to high, and then it's set to show on home screen, so you can tap here, turn off, turn on, and then if you wanted a different level, you could just tap right there to get to the same screen.
Okay.
I like one pedal on high because I like one pedal driving. Some people don't.
Yes.
Let's go back home. Really not a whole lot else to talk about here infotainment wise. It works really well. It's pretty dang snappy in this one. We were talking about this before. The Hummer EV was weirdly slow.
Yeah.
And we don't know why. Because every other GM vehicle we've been in, it's been about this snappy. It's been pretty dang solid. Let's talk about here. If you'll hand me this.
Yep.
We're going to look over here at the driver instrument screen. So first off, this one, like I said, does not have Super Cruise. So you just have your buttons for adaptive cruise here and then your forward collision. This is some radio stuff. Heated steering wheel, which is really nice. Super glad to have it. And then this cycles you through options here. So this is kind of where it was when we got in. So it's your basic. You've got your speedometer in the middle, battery state of charge on the left. I do like that it actually gives you a percentage. The Hummer did not. And then how much power you're using is there on the right. You can hit the bottom right button and get a different screen. So now you have your speed on the left and a big old power meter on the right, and then your trip stuff in the middle, or whatever you sent to your driver screen. Hit it again. Now you have your Google Maps in the gauge cluster, and when you do directions, it'll show up there as well, which is nice. And then you also have this, which is your driver's assistance view, and then just a very plain, simple, clean screen.
It's just your mile per hour. Yep.
I actually would really like the map screen, so that's where I'm going to leave it. Otherwise, there's not a whole lot else going here. These are power seats. However, there is no seat memory. You do have power folding mirrors on this, even though this is kind of a lower end LT model. You got your lane keep, auto hold, all that is standard issue stuff. Let's look up here real quick. So this does have the big glass roof. I really appreciate that GM actually makes this really simple for your controls. So many of these have you do a weird
one touch
to do the shade, two touch to you hold it deep, whatever. You just have a simple shade, tilt, and open.
Yes.
No faffing about. It just works.
Not figuring out which one you got to hit, how many times you got to hit it, things like that. So yeah.
And it just works. I do really appreciate how simple they actually managed to make that. It was actually just telling us we've been sitting here too long and it was going to turn us off if it didn't hit anything. That's funny.
You do have this knob up here too, don't you?
Yeah. So this knob is your volume. And I actually so you can see it actually sits on top of the screen and shows around it.
Yep.
Which is nice.
Cool.
I would like to see if they could kind of find a way to integrate that to other parts of the vehicle as well.
Like for air.
To air or whatever. Although in the same case, they don't need to because they have a dedicated climate control. Really, I don't have anything else to talk about up here. Oh, we didn't talk about it outside because it was really cold. There is no front trunk.
There is no front trunk, I think.
Which is a shame because the front of this thing is so big. It could have one, but instead it just is all mechanical stuff. It is what it is. Most people, from what it seems like, don't actually use their front trunks, but then the people that really want them are the people that really use them. So the jury's still out, I guess, on whether or not those are necessary. I just like to see them.
Yeah, it's good, especially for a family of four. We're traveling, it's a good little spot for some extra space to throw a couple blankets, a couple pillows, things like that. If it's a large enough.
Yeah, but at the same time, I mean, we see online so many times people talking about, oh, we never opened it, we never used it, whatever. So it's obviously, I guess if they've done market research and they believe it's not necessary to put one in, it's not necessary to put one in. Otherwise, I think I'm happy and ready to drive.
So yeah, we're gonna get our other camera set up and we'll come back here in a little bit to begin our driving review. Okay, we're on the big roads, getting ready for our driving review. So Sebastian, what have you noticed just in a little drive at low speeds coming over?
Yeah, so the pedestrian warning sound is really loud. I know it's there for a reason and it's important, but it is so loud inside the car.
Yeah, and we don't have the radio playing.
And that's part of it, yeah. But it's I know we went in and turned off for the fake engine noises and all that, and it's literally just that under 25 miles an hour you can hear it. It's
required by law and things like that. Yeah,
you can hear it. It's pretty noisy. Not a big deal.
Yep.
Just something I immediately noticed. They got a big piece of cardboard on the front of their car. That's funny.
Oh wow.
It's got pretty good pickup. We're gonna probably get to try it out here now.
Yep.
It's got good pickup.
Yes, it does.
And it stays really well composed, like going around corners and stuff.
It does. We had some twisty, turny roads coming from the park, and it did really, really good.
Yeah, like it was not bad at all. And
Nope.
I mean, and just there, like we got up to speed. This is definitely not the fast one.
Nope.
You know, you can tell like there's going to be an SS model soon. But it has plenty of power to get up out of its way. Full screen Google Maps is awesome.
That is awesome.
Especially because it's Google Maps.
I'm just sitting here recording it because I just think it's so cool that it's that big. And you actually turned off the display over there for the
I did
Maps.
actually turn it off because it's so big right here,
Yes.
and I knew that's what I was going to have open. If I was listening to music or whatever, and I might have music up here, and then
Yep.
maybe, but since I'm not, I figured I might as well leave it there.
Yep.
We're at 41% now, so we might actually get to go charge.
Oh, yeah.
Which we don't usually get to do. These are
Nope.
usually so charged up.
Usually when we get these cars, they're 100%.
Yeah, which I don't mind when they don't charge them because it means we get to go see how they
Yes.
do, just kind of right off the cusp. We do have it preconditioning currently,
Yep.
so that will hopefully help it out. Now that we're out here on the highway, this one, like I said, does not have Super Cruise. However, it does do lane keeping, and I'm actually about to turn on.
There you go. While he's doing that, huge shout out to Everett again. Here's their dealership over here on the side of the road for letting us borrow this Blazer for a few hours. And now we're back.
All right, so it does have adaptive cruise, which is a good plus. It is not lane centering. The only way to get lane centering, as far as I know, on one of these GM vehicles is to get Super Cruise.
Okay.
Otherwise, it is just lane keep, and lane keep will just ping pong you between the lines.
Yes.
Which I mean, it does some active steering, but you can see kind of right here where
Feels like you're going back and forth.
yeah, we're just kind of back and forth. You can see it'll put in some correction. It's vibrating my butt
Yep.
to let me know I'm touching a line. That is one thing I kind of like of these newer GM vehicles is they don't beep at you. They just vibrate, and they can actually vibrate. Like that time it was vibrating the right leg.
To let you know that
And
you're
then
going too far.
go over to right. And if it was on the left, it'd vibrate the left. It's kind of a cool way of doing it because it
Yep.
gets your attention.
Yep.
Out here on the highway,
No,
it's
they're
quiet. It's not loud in here at
Nope.
all. I'm just curious. Let me go in here,
Do our decibel check.
find noise. We'll be quiet. 62.
So yes, we reviewed another car. What was that?
That's like the same level as the i7.
Yeah, the i7 we had that we reviewed was 60. Was 62?
It was like
or
61,
60,
62.
yeah,
It was
63,
right
right
there,
on,
man.
yes.
And that is a $130,000 car.
Yep.
So that's not bad at all. And it's windy out
It is windy.
and cold. God, it's so cold.
Yes.
But no, out here on the highway, I'm missing my lane centering.
Mhm.
I've been spoiled by it on a lot of the cars we've driven recently. However, if you get the one with Super Cruise has worked amazing in every single
Yep.
car we've tried it in. And honestly, to me, it would be worth getting that whatever option package you have to get just for Super Cruise.
Mhm.
It's that decent to me. And the monthly subscription on it, once you run out of your 3 years that's included, isn't bad. It's like $25 a month. Which, compared to something like FSD is like $100 a month, and Blue Cruise is like $50. Comparatively, Super Cruise is not a bad deal, especially because they're still updating it, still updating mapping and everything. We did on the way over here on city streets, play around with the one pedal. Plenty of regen, really strong, like every other GM vehicle that we've driven recently. When you set one pedal to high, I mean, this one was giving us almost 120 kilowatts of regen.
Yes.
Like
Which is a lot.
it's a lot of regen. And I really like on the GM stuff too, even if you're at a really high state of charge, it will, it'll show you, oh, you're only getting 20 kilowatts of regen. It will feel just the same because they do a really good job of blending in the friction brakes. And so, yeah, GM has so much stuff on their drivetrain tuning for their EVs that is like really nailed and knocked it, like they knocked that stuff out of the park, which makes sense. They've been doing it for a while at this point. The Bolt came out in late 2016, early 2017, and they learned a lot from it, and then they've iterated, on their other EVs as well. So it makes sense that all this stuff is super well tuned at this point. But yeah, this thing drives really well.
So yeah, as you mentioned before, front seats are very comfortable. As you can see, I'm 6'2". I have plenty of room down here. Enough room to stretch out, things like that. So yeah, I'm very impressed with the comfort and ride quality of
We
the Blazer
did
EV.
try the radio out earlier.
Yep.
So this does not have the upgraded audio system. I'm not 100% sure who the upgraded partner is. I think it's Bose on these, but it might not be. I don't want to get it
Please
wrong.
let us know if we get it wrong. Put it in the show notes. Yes. Comment.
The default, just standard radio is okay.
That's fine.
The speakers are just fine.
It will serve its purpose of listening to a radio.
Yeah. They're not amazing. They're definitely not as good as some of the other vehicles we've driven recently. But if you care about that, you buy the, you get whatever package comes with the upgraded speakers, and it will most likely be fine. This one, again, I kind of actually like this. We don't usually get to drive kind of the more everyman spec vehicles. Yep. We end up in a lot of the high-end vehicles, premium trim levels, whatever. I actually kind of like, for once, getting to be in a just regular car.
Yep.
It's nice to kind of see.
Because this is the car that probably most people would get into at the $40,000 to $50,000 range.
Yeah. Which I guess that's important to talk about. What did you say the MSRP on this one was?
If I look back there, I think it's 52 and some change.
Okay. I do believe these qualify for tax credit as long as it's still available, which is, $7,500, which will help a lot with that price.
And any dealer incentives that they're offering.
And then any dealer's incentives offered on top of that, which I think if it's, you can get into one of these, I believe, for around 50, you minus 7,500, so you're at 42.5.
Yep.
That's not bad.
That's not bad.
For this kind of package.
So for me, we have reviewed the Equinox. If you want to check that review out, find us. We reviewed the Equinox. I like how this is. For me, I would prefer this over the Equinox, just simply for the space. It's bigger.
Yeah, it's just bigger.
Yep.
See, I really liked the Equinox.
And you like the smaller one.
But I drive a smaller car already. You already drive a Model Y.
Yeah.
So if you were looking for something, you probably want more space.
And I have
anyway.
a son that's almost 6 feet tall that needs to sit back too. So.
Yeah. And for me, I just have small children, so or small child.
So you're more than one that I know.
No,
so,
just small child. Anyway, it drives really well. This is actually a really good EV.
And you can feel the regen right now,
We're just kind of very easily, and the GM's one pedal tuning is excellent, like really good.
No sudden stops or anything like that. Nice, smooth, come to a stop.
Boom, we're stopped. It says auto hold, automatically kicked it in, which usually one pedal does, but it's still nice to see it.
I like how the navigation also shows traffic too as well. So yes, that's key. I have issues getting my wife's car to do that. She has a Kia EV6. It does not like to show the traffic.
It doesn't like to show a lot of things.
It doesn't like to show a lot of things on the map.
I haven't been through here since they put all these lights in. This is nice. Wow, look at them.
And it's nice driving cars on brand new paved roads too.
Yeah.
So you want to try to charge this thing?
Yeah, let's take it to. We're at 38%, so we probably won't get peak speed, but we can kind of get an idea.
So we're gonna head on over to the supercharger, which for us is gonna be at it's a Pilot Flying J.
Yep. 350 kilowatt stations.
So you will join us from that charger. We'll see you in a bit. All right, we have pulled up to our GM Energy, of course, since we're driving a GM car. So the Pilot Flying J. How long has the station been open for, Sebastian?
6 months.
6 months, so it's fairly new.
Uh-oh. There we go. Cool.
So you can
Payment
see
authorized.
350 kilowatt station here.
So it was still preconditioning when we pulled in. It was not finished. So I'm not expecting amazing results, especially like as we kind of mentioned before. It is.
There we go.
20-something degrees outside. Golly.
Yeah. Mechanics doesn't like to work sometimes when it's 20 degrees outside. All right.
Kind of stick that out of the way. Wrangle the big beefy cable. Plug it in. All right, it says connecting your vehicle. I heard the lock cycle.
Checking cable safety.
Heard contactors. And the charging cabinets. We're still waiting.
Up. I hear it starting up over here.
Still waiting. It does have a status light here, but we can't see it because it's bright outside.
Oh, okay, yes.
Golly, these things take forever to start.
Up. Here's some more clicking, matching voltage.
You would have already been charging for 30 seconds on the supercharger.
Tesla charger, I've already been charging.
Ooh, loud beep. All right, and we're gonna actually hit the
info button.
Is it info that I want?
Or session detail.
Session detail.
Yes.
There we go. 296 volts.
Woo!
That's low voltage for it to have been at 30-something%.
Yep.
But you can see pack voltage is already rising up pretty decent bit. It's asking for, holy smokes.
126, 139,
dude,
145.
it's asking,
look at that, 152.
It's asking for 500 amps.
Yep. It wants the juice.
That is way more than I was expecting, especially considering it was still preconditioning.
And it's cold outside too.
And it's cold. It is pulling of 500 amps. Wow. I wasn't expecting that at all.
I was expecting I was not expecting that either.
I mean, it's a super low voltage pack. If this was a higher, like closer to 400 volt car, it'd be pulling 200 kilowatts right now.
Yep.
If it could take 500 amps, like. Now, okay, we're already walking down a decent bit.
Yep.
There we go. It remembered it's cold.
Yes. So wait a minute, it's cold. So now, as you see, our kilowatts, we're coming down. We were at 153. We're coming down.
But that's still, I mean, it's still not bad.
Nope.
It's especially, it seems like that's kind of where it's sitting now. It's 460, 145. And so that's not bad though. It's not 250 like a Model Y would give you for a little while, or some of the other stuff we've driven recently.
Yep.
But I mean, it's still pulling the full fat 500 amps.
Yep.
And I mean, and it did it without it being fully preconditioned.
Yep.
Cool.
All right, we're gonna go ahead and unplug real quick, hop back in the car, and go back to Everett Chevrolet and do our final thoughts. See you in a bit. All right, we've made it back to Everett Chevrolet. Once again, huge shout out to the team over here for letting us borrow this Blazer EV for a few hours. So I'll start with my final thoughts. So kind of same final thoughts I had with the Equinox. Great EV. It drives great. It drives smooth. The regen works great. Navigation works great. Surprised at some of the charge speeds we were getting at the supercharger, which was good. It got to what peaked at what, 150, 155?
155.
And it slowly come down, but it is cold and it's not the fastest charging EV in the market. I really like the interior of this car. I really like how the, the circle Camaro looking air vents and things like that. I like that it has a sunroof. Wish it had a little bit better sound system in it, but that's just me. I like to listen to my music loud. But for anyone else, it won't be that big a deal. Sebastian, for you?
Yeah, so I generally agree with what you said. Like the Equinox, it does the EV stuff right.
Yep.
It regen's good. The powertrain tuning is good. One pedal is excellent. All that stuff's good. But charge performance is weaker than I would expect it to be in 2024. 150 kilowatt peak isn't great, especially in 2024. Or it's 2025 now.
Yes,
Joel.
it is 2025.
It's not the greatest in 2025. However, we plugged it in. It's 28 degrees outside. We had been preconditioning, but it was not done preconditioning, and it immediately asked for 500 amps.
Yep.
Like, can't really fault it too hard.
It didn't
on
have
that.
to warm the battery up and then get you those.
Yeah.
top speeds.
So I mean, it pretty much immediately asked for 500 amps, which I mean is a good thing. Especially considering 500 amps is what a lot of these chargers. That's a max they support anyway. That said, it's competition like Model Y. Model Y can do 250 kilowatts in theory. You've got what other Mach-E? Yeah, Mach-E's about the same slowness. What else is in this class that I'm not thinking of off the top of my head?
Well, think of other cars, like I'm thinking of the Pro Lobby, that's also built on.
That's also Blazer.
That's
So it's
also
gonna be the
Blazer,
same.
just rebadged. So that would probably Polestar? No.
Why am I struggling to remember cars right now?
Let's go through all the manufacturers and we can probably think. But I think those are the Kia EV6 has the huge.
Oh yeah, EGMP.
Yeah, EGMP.
EGMP, man, is the exception of a rule every time.
But there's things. There's things that this car does better.
Oh,
navigation,
route
that,
planning,
as compared to the EV6.
So the EV6 is an excellent, awesome, rocking battery pack and powertrain.
230 kilowatts. As soon as you plug in, boom, shoots right up there. Yes.
Paired to, frankly, terrible software.
Yes.
This is a decent, really. I mean, honestly, it's a good powertrain, just not the best EV battery tech. Paired to really good software.
Yep.
And software that's easy too.
So if it's a daily drive, you're not supercharging, this car would be fine.
Yeah, and I mean, even like road trip wise, it would still be fine. You're just going to have slightly longer stops, right? But the fact that you can route plan and it just works, or you can on-demand precondition.
And that doesn't work in the EV6.
Exactly. So this is the time of year in the EV6 where you wouldn't be able to get your really good charge rates anyway. Because you would have to rely on the navigation to actually get you to a charger and precondition and everything.
So when I was trying to do some testing to see if the EV6 worked on the test supercharger station, I had to route it to another supercharger in that area just so it could be preconditioned because I didn't have on-demand preconditioning.
And even then, it wasn't preconditioned fully because you started off at 62 kilowatts, and then like 10 minutes later, you were at 77, and then like 97. So like it didn't even do it right then. This, on the other hand, I would have no worry about it preconditioning correctly because it has the built-in route planning in Google, or you can just do it manually.
And if you're stopping at Tesla superchargers, technically this car would charge better at a Tesla supercharger than an older Kia EV6.
Yeah,
you're only going to get a max
because this doesn't need to do the whole boosting of the voltage or anything. So yeah, I would love to see GM maybe in the future, especially kind of their they're actually moving away from the Ultium branding stuff.
Yep.
And so maybe that means they're going to kind of have newer battery tech, like do some battery technology tweaks, whatever, to maybe be able to unlock more power out of these. And that would be awesome, because really that's the only thing I can fault this car on. Is 150 kilowatt isn't excellent in 2025. You know, it's honestly acceptable, because that's about like Mustang Mach-E is. EGMP stuff smokes it. But if they could just figure out a way to bump that up some, this would be an awesome package.
Yeah, it would.
It's comfortable. It rides well. It was quiet on the interstate. I mean, we registered like 62, 63 decibel, which is about what we registered in a BMW i7, which is $130,000.
$129,000.
This is as close to a Rolls Royce as you can get without the spirit of ecstasy. And like I said kind of earlier, I really like that we actually get to take this one out. Because this is not...
Because usually when we go to car dealerships and we ask for, you know, an EV, we get top trim, because that's what they want to show off, which sounds right. Kind of like with, I don't even know, what trim did we have on the Equinox?
Equinox, we had an 2RS.
2RS.
So it wasn't the top trim, but it had Super Cruise.
But
it had
it's
a bunch
nice
of stuff.
getting into like these middle of the tier trims that are going to be sold most to the people out there. You know, they're not going to go for those side trims. They're going to go for this, especially if it's a daily driver. It does what it needs to do. It does what it needs to does. You know, get charged overnight on a level 2 charger, have no issues. But yeah, it's kind of nice having these.
And interior-wise, it has everything you need. You got heated seats, you got heated steering wheel, adaptive cruise control, lane keeping, not lane centering, which is a bummer, but lane keeping.
And I think heated seats are more important than cold seats.
Yes.
Because on days like this, you want to heat that seat up as fast as you can. In the summertime, you can just, you know, turn the car on. It gets cool within a few minutes. So yeah. This is a really good package. The only thing I can fault it on is charge speed. Me too. All right. Thank you all for joining us today on another EV Geek podcast review. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification icon. Once again, huge shout out to the team over here at Everett Chevrolet in Benton, Arkansas. We'll see you all again on the next podcast review. Bye, everyone.